Apologies that some of the things on the overlay are not active. We are changing some things right now for Liquor League coming up on Friday. I will touch on Liquor League in a moment once I talk about this for YouTube. So what's going on YouTube? What's going on Twitch? I'm live streaming this one at the moment, and we've done plenty of classic games in the past. This is another one. It is Lands Nomad, and this game, again, I'm guesstimating, guys, but this was in the between 2004 2007, I believe. So this is a very long time ago. We're casting this in 2018, which is unreal, and it's still going to give us amazing entertainment. So Lands Nomad, if you don't know what it is, you do not start with a town center, and you only start with 200 wood. So you have to build a lumber camp, and you build that lumber camp, then get the wood for a TC, and then place a TC, like Red, for example, has done this. There's lots of sheep, there's lots of boars, there's lots of resources to find, and it's actually a little bit more exciting for me compared to regular Nomad, because the games tend to go on a lot longer, there's a lot more team walling, and so we get to see some big booms with the civilizations. So, I'm gonna wait till the lumber camps get placed, then I will introduce the players. To those watching on YouTube, you might be watching in the future, so hello to you, hello to future viewers, but we are going to talk about what's coming up on Friday. Liquor League is coming up on Friday here on the live stream. It's at 23 GMT. It will happen every 2 weeks, so if you're missing this Friday, don't even worry about it. It will happen every 2 weeks. And the gist of it is it's a very short, exciting tournament with turbo settings, with 8 players, and there's a set of challenges that if players accomplish them, the casters, Dave and I, take a drink. So I have the alcohol stash ready, and I have the prize pool ready for the tournament, and we have enough signups. And tonight, before I go to bed, I will announce the players. The 2 notable players, at least for the first Liquor League, is Spring and ACCM and Klafskas. They're the highest rated 3. There's also another guy who's 1900 Vubli. So while we don't have any huge names, it doesn't really matter. The main focus is the casting, and I think after the first Liquor League, I would not be surprised if more top players end up stopping by and trying it out. Yeah, Baron, I will, Baron, we'll just talk on Skype then, because I'm going to cast the game. I don't think people are going to complain too much, like the viewers thing not showing up. We will show it on stream tomorrow, man.
My humble salutes from Chile, T90 Woo, T90 Woo, T90 Woo.
Bichosos, thank you for 2 months, man. Salutes to you as well. Welcome, everybody. So, now we're going to introduce the teams. It's a 4v4 team game, so we got to get going here. It's going to be tough because there's no order to this. In the blue, we have Sleepy Magus. Sleepy Magus is playing as the Mongols. He's about to place his town center. In the red, right beneath him, is Mayans for Blood Kiss. Huh, he's red, just like blood would be. In the orange, just below him, actually, is Roar Kiss. We're going to call him Kiss because I know ROR is an old clan. He's playing as the Franks. And then to the south even more is Yellow. Yellow is Koreans, L Clan Bolt. So L Clan is a very strong clan from the past. Doubt used to be L Clan. Chris used to be L Clan. And though Chris is no longer active, Doubt still is active. So again, this is an older game. So we're seeing some older players. We just saw a game with Peel. And I remember there used to be like a big Polish clan. And there's, I think the only guy who's really active from it now is like PL, and then it's DZIK or something. Maybe Nimino would know. It's like very hard for me to pronounce, but anyway, these players are very good. They're damn good players. So we have Chinese for Peel in the purple. In the gray is Tucha playing as the Saracens. In the green then is Sienki playing as the Celts, and then in the teal is Marius playing as the Teutons. Yeah, it's like DZI, DZMAC. Like he was maybe active 2 years ago, right? Many of the others haven't really seen. Apparently, Argonaut Chico from last game is Mem's brother. Ah, interesting. That's awesome. So the first thing I noticed is, first of all, this TC placement is god awful. So we don't have a T90 what face, but we do have a T90 cry emote, and this is just bad. You got to build it up against the wood, man. And also, he's very close to yellow, so you know, in these big team games, you want to make sure you're close to allies, and also you're going to want to make sure that you're not very close to someone who can attack you. And I don't know, it's kind of obvious to me that Marius seems to be a little bit behind the skill level of some of the others here. Now, it's worth reminding you guys that the skill level on display here, while it will be great, it might not be the same as what we're used to seeing. The build orders were different back then, the style of play was different back then, and the players were different back then, and the game has evolved over a long period of time. So we'll just have to keep an eye on this area. But definitely to the north, red and blue, they have a lot of opportunity to boom because they're not really close to anyone. Same with orange as well. The two players that are kind of separated from their teams a little bit more and close to one another are teal and yellow here. So Civ-wise late game, I don't know what the chat thinks, you can let me know, but I personally prefer the northern team's civilizations, because Mongols, they have those strong Mangudai, Mayans, they have the plumed archers, Koreans, they have war wagons and amazing siege onagers, Franks have the best paladins in the game, so I like that pick a little bit more. It almost seems to me like this was maybe a random civilization game, and one team happened to get more fortunate civilizations. I just missed your name. It had a V2 in it, I think, but someone said they just came in from YouTube watching the Leary and Viper games. Welcome, man, welcome. So what we're going to do, because I happen to know the length of this game, I won't spoil it, I am going to speed it up a little bit here. Yeah, the other team also has Saracens. Saracens are also very strong, but I feel like Teutons, I mean, they do get Paladin and Siege Onager, but their Paladins don't get Husbandry, and it's not as good as Franks. Chinese, they have options. Celts have options. It depends how it plays out, of course.
Tristan, on a scale from Robo to Smarthy, how drunk will you be during Liquor League?
I don't know, Trirem. We'll just have to see how many challenges are completed during the tournament. Hashtag advertisement. Trirem, I'll compensate you later for that ad. Thank you very much. Seems like a pretty good start for most players. There's a lot of deer out on the map, so they're able to toss down some mills and get that food boost. Oh, and you get the boars as well. So Peel already had a pretty strong start because he's Chinese. He starts with a few extra villagers. And he's going to bring in the boars now as well as the deer. It could be slightly annoying for red and blue to be right next to one another. Hopefully they've scouted. What you want to do is you want to scout with sheep where you can. And yeah, see, they can see plenty of resources. This is why the games tend to go on for a long period of time. You know, in Feudal Age and Castle Age, we might see the team walls start. For example, maybe we could see a big wall in the front here from red and blue, and then wall in between the cliffs to the edge of the map, and they can just continue doing that. Again, it'll be a bit of a struggle for yellow and teal because they're separated from their team a bit and far away from everyone. But we'll just have to see. After the 24-hour stream, what about a 2v2v2v2 with co-op? Definitely possible in the future. Definitely possible. Saveno says, if every challenge is completed, how many drinks will that be? Type ! Liquor League if you want to see the challenges, but there's about 15 different challenges, many of which probably won't be completed because the players will be hurting their chances of winning if they do the challenges. But, I don't know, we'll see. It could be a lot. By the way, the trailer is live. Okay, sweet, Baron, sweet. I'm pumped for it. It looks pretty cool. For those that don't know, Baron is the guy who works on my images, Viper's images, and so like the new overlay came from him and a lot of the other work as well. He really helped me with during the 24-hour stream too, so. So they're signaling, someone says, who's there, Coven? I wonder if Coven is one of these players. Arch Coven is also a legend of the game. It's not really a trailer as much as like an intro video for YouTube. Castle time on the way for green. And normally you want to be going knights. Even if you don't have one of the best knight civilizations, you want to be going knights because they're faster. Blue is going to be doing that as well. As Mongols, he can make camels and knights. Mayans traditionally would go for plumed archers, because plumed archers are a bit stronger than regular crossbows, but it looks like he's going to add archer ranges for crossbows. So, most players on the way up, but geez, I didn't realize, look at Gray. Gray's on his way up to feudal age now. That is not the age he wants to be advancing to right now. He will have the resource to click up to castle immediately after, but that's quite slow from him. Not the best time. If you look at the weakest player on the other team, that would be yellow, and yellow is already on the way up to castle. There's the stable for teal. Wouldn't be surprised to see the knight arrive right at yellow's base. Yellow has closed off his base nicely from any knight attacks. So what do you think, Chad? Do you think this speed is good? This will be quite a lengthy epic game. Do you think this speed is reasonable? 3 stables from blue. Wow. They are not messing around here. This is quite hard to afford. Young one, you have the small trees mod because when you play the game, it's impossible without it. You wouldn't be able to see villagers over top this tree, and to micro your vills and your woodline for efficiency, it'd just be impossible. So it's pretty much accepted now. Like, small trees is kind of the norm. Once you start playing the game consistently, you need it, and same with casting as well. Like, here, for example, I couldn't see any of these villagers to talk about them, and you couldn't click the tree on front, and it would be tough. So, knights streaming forward from blue, going right to teal's base. Green is streaming knights forward, and he's actually bypassing yellow's base and going towards yellow's area here. But that is a lot of knights, and teal could be cleaned up pretty quick here if he doesn't get some support. Now, there's no upgrades on the knights, so they will die to the town centers. But that is not going to be a good situation for teal to be continuing to garrison. Also, purple now sending forward knights. I think we'll keep this on faster speed. It'll just test my tongue and my breathing skills. A very good defense from yellow here with some spears, and he did get the town center up. And now a new town center for teal, but you can just tell how bad a situation this is with so many idle villagers and the fact he has to build the TC so close. You could still play people with regular trees. I don't know if they would have actually had the capability to have small trees back then. That's the other thing. Like when Nilly and I casted that 2002 classic, he was saying, like, T90, back then, they didn't have recorded games, they didn't have a spectator feature, and they also did not have small trees. And they had an, like, 3-second lag, he said, so maybe it improved at whatever time this was, but still. You can see the walls I talked about, so some players are just gonna add extra economy. That's a lot of knights from Peel. So Peel seems to be the strongest one on his team. Orange also doing very well. Kiss, he's gonna be sending knights forward. Yeah, Blue, of course, as well, has been doing quite well. Following Orange's units in here, he sees the TCs, he sees the spears, but can he stop the TC here? He won't stop the TC. He will kill some villagers, though. Big losses. At the same time, purple is getting pushed away to the north. So I know that we're missing some parts to these fights. I'm doing my best to pan all around here, but because it is such a lengthy game, I think at least for now, it is necessary to keep it at this speed. You know, the Mayan player was always going to struggle without a castle, and you can see right here, red really just needs some help from blue to defend from the knights, or just use the TC fire. And blue and orange are now on top of gray. Who was pocket? I think I'll slow it down a little bit more. And teal now getting into yellow's base. You can tell these are all very good players, guys. They're all very solid players. A pikeman defending for El Clan Bolt. So there are certain civilizations that simply need a big boom before they can contribute much. And it's always going to be the meso civilizations, the ones that don't get knights, that fall into that category. And then you're going to be talking about civilizations that don't get great knights, and don't want to continue with them for very long. Like Green, for example, who has a very strong boom at 59 villagers. He doesn't want to make a ton of knights this game, because even though Celts get Paladin, they get the worst Paladin in the game. So he will instead want to go for Siege. Even Mongols here in the blue, though they do get good, like full upgrades on their Castle Age Knights, you don't want to invest in too many of them because you want to go for your late game composition in Mangatai. Now that's a huge engagement here, denying the TC on gold and killing villagers. It should be pushed away here, but still very nice. Other example would be Teal. Like Teal, well, he might go Paladin actually, but he also might want to go Siege versus Koreans, and Koreans will want to boom up and go for other composition as well. So Knights are the absolute best way to do damage at this stage of the game, but as the economies grow and the walls go up and the teamwork is easier, then it will not be a great idea to continue with Knights. And this is pretty ballsy from Teal. He's going to try and castle drop Yellow, and you know, I think this is just recognition of the fact that Yellow is defending with pikes, and Yellow doesn't have anything that can really leave his base. So it's like, okay, bro, I'm just going to build a castle here, and I'm going to drop it right on your golds, and I'm going to drop it right on your economy, and there's nothing that can really stop that. Like, this TC would never happen from a pro here today. Like, this is what we call a farm TC. You never see that from a pro here today. But we've seen a couple interesting things here now in this game. Most of the night raids are getting cleaned up. These knights also don't have a defense upgrade. They instead have the first attack upgrade. So while they have bloodlines and while they can do damage, they will die to TC fire. Teal is continuing to push here. I think if you're Yellow, you might need a defensive castle here, or might need some help from Orange, who is your pocket. Now, does Teal want to commit underneath the town center with pikemen there? Probably not. Can make Teutonic Knights, though. Chat, can we get some hypes for the Teutonic Knights? Teutonic Knights will shred the pikemen, though they will still struggle versus the arrow fire of the TCs. I think most of the other attacks have stopped. Huge boom for Peel. He's on 7 town centers. He's going to be attacked by blue, and finally the crossbows from red. So many TCs. In fact, let's slow it down here. I want to look at this because this is so different. Peel has 1, 2, 3, and this will be 4 more TCs, so 7 TCs. Yes, Snippy, this is Lands Nomad. The Green's on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 TCs. This is just unheard of. You don't see this anymore. Gray, now he's been up against it. He's only on 3. Let's see about the other players. 1, 2, 3 for blue. 4 for reds. Orange, maybe has had more of a boom. 1, 2, 3, 4 as well. 5. So, and about to be 6. So, moral of the story is there's a lot more town centers back then. And I think that's why this game is going to go on for quite some time. Yes, this is a 4v4. You can see the teams on the overlay. You can see the teams on the right-hand side, but it's pretty much left versus right. And we're watching the 2 flanks engaged right now. Now, I think Yellow is in a nasty position. He probably did not expect the Castle Age push. Green coming forward with the Siege Workshops and adding Rams. And this is the castle I spoke of a while back, you know. Building a castle here would maybe put a stop to this push. He might lose the TC and some farming space, but that would be it. But Teal's going for another castle! He's going for another castle here, are you kidding me? I don't know, I zoned out or something. I was just kind of laughing at the fact that, that Green sent pikemen in underneath the TC. He's gonna get this castle up, guys. He didn't stop at 1 castle, he's going for 2. Ouch. Ouch. Both castles will go up. I believe Teal's will actually go up. I don't think it'll be denied because he's so many bills, yeah. I guess Tootin Castles have murder holes, so I don't know who you want to give an edge to. I would definitely give an edge to Teal because of the rams from his ally. Now back on this side, Peel. Just now getting +2 defense on his knights, and he's making a lot of knights. And while Chinese don't get Cavalier, Chinese... Well, no, sorry. While Chinese don't get Paladin, they do get Cavalier, and they get full upgrades on them as well. So, this army could die to all those knights from Peel. We'll look back there later on. You know, Yellow's at 112 or 115 population. That'll constantly change now as he loses fills. He is just getting pushed big time. So the difference here, as Yellow and Teal are both kind of all in here in Castle, is that the pocket player, Green, he is also all in Castle Age. So he is producing a lot of rams and pikemen instead of going to the Imperial Age, which is the traditional play. And it's actually paid off here versus Yellow. Yellow's forced to run away with a lot of his villagers. Now, Yellow's pocket, he is on the way to the Imperial Age. Now, he's Franks, so you can't really go knights versus this many pikemen. So I saw him researching man-at-arms. I think he's going to go the champion line, and the champion line would work pretty well here. But he needs to send some help fast. Green is taking his foot off the gas for a moment, and is also on the way to the Imperial Age. Now, at the same time, that big engagement that I knew was possible, coming in from Peel. It's a 2v1 versus Peel. He's lost one of his town centers, but that doesn't matter. He's just going to rebuild another one. And I think because of the upgrades and the numbers he had to start the fight, he should win this. Blue is lacking the final defense upgrade here. It's not simple for Peel, of course. But you can tell he's a good player. Look at this. Microing the vills away from the crossbows. Still sending in more knights. I think he will clean this up. A very good defense from him. But it's not going to be easy with a 2v1. He needs to get Gray involved at some stage. Gray still just booming up at home. The push at Yellow's base, well, it just gets more and more difficult now for Yellow, as he's at 85 population, or 85 villagers, and he's just relocating town centers. This is a pretty sick game, guys. This is a pretty sick game. We got to see Teutonic Knights. He even got upgrades on the Teutonic Knights. That's so rare nowadays, because they can be pretty well countered. The other thing that you have to keep in mind, this is also something we don't see often. Teutonic Knights shred throwing axemen, and you rarely only see that unique unit matchup in like custom scenarios like CBA or something. So, and I also have a lot of respect for Green for immediately adding in the Scorpions, because he recognizes that the only thing that can counter all his pikemen are the champions, and that's exactly what Orange is teching into. So very smart thinking, very strong players. The Saracen pocket is sending in pikemen, which also is very different. And credit to Blue, he's continuing to push Peel. Peel is losing this town center again. The 2v1 finally doing something here. On the right side, Orange is in Imp, Green is in Imp. Lots of dead villagers for Peel. He's at 143, so I guess that it's not as bad as it could have been. But I think he needs to regroup, because he cannot keep up with the numbers. Liz, if you're just getting here, and anyone else who is just getting here, welcome to the stream. This is a classic game with some experts that sadly are not active anymore. And we're only 43 minutes in, and it's been a pretty incredible matchup thus far. We still have the potential for Siege Onager from multiple civilizations, Siege Ram from multiple civilizations, Paladin from multiple civs, Arbs, like pretty much everything you would want in late game, we still have not seen. And it still is a pretty close game. You know, Teal, though he's been pushing, he's completely forgotten about his economy. He's on his way to Imp, but he's only 77 pop. He's been propped up by Green, and it looks like Orange, though he's lost the Treb, is held on.
Keep up the great O2 action.
So the reason that we don't see so many town centers is because of what we're seeing right now. You put 150 population into your economy if you're Peel, and then you sacrifice military numbers and military possibilities. So that's actually why the meta shifted, because too many players died like Peel is dying right now to large military pushes. Peel was the strongest player on his team. He's not any longer. He's on his way to Imp, but he is taking some big losses. Zerkness Monster, thank you for the 7 months, man. I definitely will keep up the AoE2 action. Also worth mentioning that I will be doing Age of Empires 1 next week as well. Longsword on the way for green, so we're going to have champion v champion most likely. And these are not heavy scorpions, but they're actually going to contribute quite a bit here versus longswords. And now the capped rams, you know, they offer a meat shield in these fights, but also going to take out the trebuchets. And just saving that castle there for green. Wow, crazy game. I did see that orange also is going into Frank Cavalier now, but there's still too many halbs. It's kind of slowed down on the right, but on the left it continues. And Peel's economy is getting peeled back. And trying to hold for Imp, but here are the Mamelukes from Grey. Grey still in Castle Age. But I love the Mameluke unit. This is before the nerf and the expansions as well, so I'm excited to see some elite Mameluke. And Mamelukes destroy Knights. Not when they do that, though. Not when they do that. I think that would just provide, especially the castle, will just provide Peel with enough security here. To maybe hold and wait for Imp. Then he should probably go towards Chukanu and not Cavalier. Oh, the Scorpions, though. The Scorpions are going to be so sick. Don't forget about the Mangonels and the Bombard Cannons, though, because they can flatten the Scorpions. Now, green is kind of forgotten about them here. And Teal is going to pay the price, probably lose his castle. It only has 40 HP. It's still some big losses, I think, for orange, but he's doing a good job to hold on. Marius, the Teal player, is adding in Cavalier. Cavalier will do well versus the two-handed swordsman. Amazingly, this castle's still up on 42 HP, and they're just going to take down Orange's castle here with Scorpions and some infantry units. Red is now in the Imperial Age. They have a great forward position on the front of Peel's base. The Mayans will be going for plumed archers, most likely in Arbalest. They could go for halberdiers and eagles as well. And then I think the Mongol player needs to get the castles up and start adding Mangadai. That's going to be so important because Mongol Cavalier really aren't the best. And Mamelukes are going to be upgraded when Grey hits Imp. He's not yet there. There's been a couple players in this game that kind of needed propped up. And both of them on the PL team, honestly. Like, Teal needed propped up and Grey needed propped up. And Peel and Sienki here, they've been holding. And actually, Green actually contributed to a push as well. More castles. Like, how do you push this back? It's so tough to push this back. Map control is so important here. Gonna be 2 castles for both red and blue on the front. Not even 1 hour into this game, guys. So yellow slowly getting back into the game. There are the war wagons now, so finally he will contribute again. A credit to Kiss as well, who has been fighting 2v1 here as yellow has been trying to rebound back into this. Yellow's hand cannons do nicely counter any infantry units now, and the bombard cannons, well, they can kill anything from range. And now we're going to see bombard towers from yellow, so with all the castles going up and with all the towers going up, it's a sign that this will be quite a long and epic game. Have there been significant balance changes since these classic games? How do they influence the game and meta? Well, no, I mean, the most recent balance change after AOC was the HD expansions, so like, even when I was casting mainly AOC, it was actually with the same exact balance we're looking at right now. So, yeah, the answer to that is really no. But the meta has definitely shifted a lot. And though these guys are obviously fantastic players, they are doing things a little bit differently than what we'd see in the current meta. And even a couple years in the past. So that's what's exciting here. I love the Rams! Rams versus full Arbalest, so good! That meat is so helpful to the elite Chukanu from Peel. Peel is repairing his castle, should Yeah, will keep that up. And will kill these trebuchets, will kill the arbalests, and might even kill these castles. Now, on the other side, the bombard towers are going up. They're going to really try and hold here. It's important to start walling and just placing fortifications so you can get your trade running soon as well. I think this is going to become quite a stalematey side. Celts versus Koreans, you can make an argument for either civilization. Koreans have more range, Celts have more HP. And then when you're looking at Franks v Teutons, I would say Franks are better with the Paladins at least, but currently only Teal has Paladin, and he does have to run away because he's versus Halb, so. Now on this side, Grey's finally on its way to the Imperial Age. You'll notice the team walls are up, so they cannot be raided back at home. I see Green has some champions that walked through, so I think that the team to the north will need to get some walls up. But Chukunu and Rams will kill Mayans. I don't know where Blue has gone, honestly. Oh, Blue's adding pikemen. Yeah, see, that's also something you would never see. But you know what? He lost all his castles because... Oh, hold on. No, I'm sorry, he didn't. I just don't have the hockey. He has 3 castles, yeah. Should be going Elite Mangudai. Wow. Well, the Halberdiers are really going to hold their own here. And with the hand cannons involved as well, I think Yellow and Orange are going to push right back. And it's not too long before we'll see Paladin from Kiss. And they're signaling bad as they see enemy units. Like Teal has run into Orange's economy now. Huge hit to Orange's eco. That'll slow down the Paladin. Actually, Orange coming back immediately to snuff that out. So maybe that will buy Teal a little bit of time. Also killing bombard cannons. It's expensive bombard cannons dying. Almost all of them actually going down here. Only one remaining. So no Elite Mangudai yet, no Elite Mamluk yet. The trade has begun already. They're going to start adding the trade carts in the corners of the map, and starting trade is extremely important. There's going to be a lot of units that could potentially snipe trade. Kund Archers are fast, they can snipe trade. Chukunu, they can shred trade. Pretty much any ranged unit. But Paladins can do it as well. The Mangudai, the Mamluks. It just goes back to the importance of walling and the importance of protecting your economies. Teal's still killing Orange's economy. This really hurts.
From YouTube today watching the fat slug breath. Amazing. This game is getting in my head, and you are a major part. Keep it up. Young American #FatWar.
Yeah, let's get the T90 walls in the chat for Fermented Herring. Fermented Herring, thank you for 9 months, man. We got a Twitch baby now, bro. What's it gonna be named? Thank you, thank you. Yeah, that Fat Slob video was legendary. I was working on another one last night. Not Fat Slob, but another legend. That should be going to YouTube in... well, I'll finish that tonight. So, while we're on that topic, all Twitch subscribers will get early access to those videos. A 48-hour early access to those videos. It is emailed to you. Also, all Patreon supporters get that as well. It's posted on the Patreon page, so look out for that. On one of my earliest videos, someone called a game Rainbow, like the minimap looked like Rainbow Barf, and we're getting there. Because there's so many colors just jumbled up. Teal has really done a miraculous job with that raid, and I think his team is slightly behind now, so that could really help with things. You know, he is killing villagers, he's distracting opponents, he's taken out trade even, and that will most likely pull Orange away from the front for a couple minutes and give Green an opportunity to maybe use his Celt Siege, and then maybe they can make another push. So that again is really the importance of walling in these situations. So the Mongol player has been going with full pikemen, which is not ideal, but he's now going to add heavy camel, and he's going to go with siege onagers. So that is ideal. That's a wonderful move. So he'll have a melee unit in front with the camels and the siege onagers behind. And they're still pushing Peel. Peel is still getting peeled back. Gray is still going with pikemen. I mean, maybe they don't have the gold for this and they're trying to get the trade up and running, but it does kind of trigger me, even though they probably didn't know any better at the time. Just hear attack noises everywhere. Here we go. They're going to build bombard towers in the trade line. Even researching murder holes now. They want to make sure that the trade is not raided often. Red is a bit salty. He's like, WTF, I play on 3 fronts. It looks like we missed a big shot here, guys. It's kind of hard to see everything. We could potentially see a lot of big shots on both sides with Siege Onager here from green. Oh, wow. A little bit unlucky from him to not fire there. And Red immediately gets the heck out of dodge. He's like, nope. I'm noping right out of here. So Celt Siege versus Mongol Siege. Both fantastic. Korean Siege down here as well. The Koreans are a good civilization to play defensively and slowly grind to push forward. You're never going to see them push forward in like one big push. You know, with the additional range here on the bombard cannons, you'll see the siege go down, but at the same time, you have to protect these bombard cannons, so it has to be slow because the halves always have to accompany you. Man, I'm just waiting for a big Siege Onager shot on these arbaleths, guys. Someone says blue is raiding teal. Yeah, blue is in on teal. All over the economy. Again, kind of untraditional, but this is coming back now to the fact that the team on the left side, the PL team, is not walled. Hussar is going into Teal's economy. Teal's at 102 population. These are some big losses to his economy now, so he knows how it feels. Oh boy. Oh boy. Mongol Siege. Elite Mangadai on the way for Sleepy Magus. 1 hour, 7 minutes into the game. I think I'll speed it up a little bit. Can see some big shots first. The Chukunus and the Skirmishers, and we will. The Light Cav are going to have to run in there to try and snipe these Siege Onagers, but the Elite Mangadai will be there to kill the Light Cav. So it's a really nice army composition for Mongols. And great shots there from blue. Good trades. Yellow is pushing in with orange to cap the Rams. Gonna take out the production buildings. Teal trying to still figure out his economy. Only 115 population. Someone says Gray is playing so bad. Let's look at his resources. Well, because it's an old patch, my hotkeys don't work. But yeah, you're right. He's just not as good as some of these other players. But I think it's obvious to me, maybe overlooking the unit compositions, it's obvious to me that Peel and, I think Peel for sure could play in team games with all the current top players. He's been really good. His army composition has been on point. He's held. He's a 200 population. He started the early trade for late game. And Gray, a little bit underwhelming. Blue, at times a little bit underwhelming because he didn't go Elite Mangadai and get those upgrades. But Peel, dude, Peel has been all over it. Credit to Yellow as well for holding on. Credit to Orange as well for helping him. Yeah, Peel, oh man, he's even killing the Siege Onagers. Like, take some real balls to try and push this when your opponent can make siege so quickly. I love the fact that Green has sent his own Onagers this way. It's really important in a team game to build these siege workshops on the other side. Oh! Surprise, surprise, ladies and gentlemen. Red has added in the Elite Eagle Warriors. 100 HP. Doesn't have all the defense upgrades just yet, but this is going to be a huge surprise to the enemy team. He masked them before he sent them out. Now, Mamelukes will kill the Eagles, and the Mamelukes almost have full ups. But the Chukunus and the Skirmishers, they die pretty hard to the Eagle Warriors. And the Arbaleths are still behind here. So many units. I'm surprised this recorded game still works. Big Siege Onager shot on the Mamelukes. Well, they have to be careful because Green is here as well with his own units. What a crazy game. Yellow continues to push in with towers. It's obvious to me that Gray and Teal are struggling for the PL team. Population-wise, is not great for them. The Teal does not have as much space. Teal, he does have 40 trade cards. The Gray only has 7. The enemy team has more trade as a whole, as a team. Look at that shot there. We're gonna see more shots on the Chukunus in a moment. Oh, I'm sorry, that was a green siege onager. That was just a bait. Only 1 Arbalest remaining there. Huge shots. That's really why you need to go for siege units in these long team games. Even if your opponent has 20, 30 more population, doesn't matter when you have siege onagers available to you. And Chukunu's getting flattened, the Eagle Warrior numbers rising, and finally the Mangadai getting a few more upgrades. But in these numbers, I think they will even still struggle versus the Mamelukes and the Chukunus. So if you're a Teutons player, what do you do here? Well, Champion's not the answer anymore because of the amount of hand cannons your opponent has. Orange has been continuing to spam and build production buildings, and they're getting very close to this trade line, so they're going to need to maybe call out to Gray to get down here. You know, I will keep an eye on the trade, because if one group of Mamelukes or Mangadai get in the trade line, it could be GG, and oftentimes nowadays, the players are so good at GG once the first trade raid comes in, because there's no gold left on this map, pretty much. We are 1 hour and 15 minutes in, and I give a huge edge to the team to the north, but still can't tell you who's going to win this one. I think, you know, maybe Green needs to pay more attention to this side, because Teal cannot do it on his own. Green has 40 military, but I don't know if that's going to be enough for him. Versus the Korean Bombard Towers, the Korean Bombard Cannons. It's going to be tough, and that's why Gray has arrived. Gray's arrived to help. So many cannonballs firing. It's really the towers that'll suck for them. They can close in on this many units. There's like 20 Bombard Cannons here. They can close in with Mamelukes, but the towers will make that near impossible. Back on this side, Peel, he's getting pushed back. We've said this before, though. Ooh, that shot with the SO. Needs to fire again. Probably as good as it could have been. I want to see Blue sneak the Siege Onager in and kill these Chukunus as they're clumped up. Come on, slide on by. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Paladins now from Orange. It's a 3v2 on this side. It's really more like a 3v1. That's the huge shot I wanted. That's as good as it'll get. No, actually, one more shot will come in. Like, fantastic teamwork from the team to the north. They recognize that Yellow's holding this and pushing on his own. So now they send in the Paladins to make it even worse for Peel. And they're so very close to the trade. Another huge shot on the Chukonu. And it's not going to end there. We know the siege is going to continue coming forwards. And Paladins are going to run right past Peel and right towards the trade. Sweet. Absolutely ridiculous. Oh, and the Eagles are here too. These guys are ridiculous. They probably ran right through the gate. And this is a perfect area because of all the houses, you know, jumbling up the trade. So many trade cards going down. Bloodkiss, you know, I didn't really mention him earlier in the MVP conversation, but considering he's a Meso civilization versus all these strong siege civs, I would say he has been the MVP for his team. Look at the way he keeps his units staggered on stand grounds and killing all those trade cards. It really is exceptional. Gray needs to step it up. Gray needs to help out. He's trying here. There's just eagles everywhere. And Peel needs... well, he kind of needs a miracle now. At least if things continue to happen as they happen, he's going to really struggle. The Chukunus can kill the Elite Mangadai, especially because the Elite Mangadai don't have upgrades, but the siege is really a problem for Peel. And the trade's slowly getting cleaned up. There's still Eagle Warriors here. I guess they haven't noticed this. Just look at the trade numbers, guys, on the overlay. You can see it's real low for Green, 16 trade cards. Some of the others around 30. Peel's actually at 60 trade cards. And because of that, he's banking some resources. Yellow continues to push forward. How many Bombard Cannons is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12... More siege workshops, 13. 14. It's just a line of bombard cannons on the way. Wow. I think the one thing that can push this is siege ram. Siege rams can make such a difference here. And if green gets lucky... Oh, paladins from teal as well. If they get in here and they get lucky, they can kill these bombard cannons. Paladins have full upgrades on them. There's not a lot of orange halberdiers because he's focused on the other side. I think the bombard cannons could all die. There's such a cost to this. We talked about this earlier. Just the cost of some of these units when they go down, like Doubt Skirmishers earlier. The game is starting to lag a little bit because the game's over 10 years old. And there's so many units out on the map. I can only imagine what it was like back then with the internet they had. A great hold from Marius, one of the weakest players on his team, finally showing something. And now Mamluks here for teal, or for gray. Green has a siege onager, it's not firing. I don't know why. But this one will do the job. And they are potentially going to push back a little bit. How does one find these old games that were recorded? Go to aoczone.net, look at the left-hand side. There's a sidebar labeled Classic Games, and that's the area you need to look towards. There's a bunch of them. I mean, there's recent recorded games on AOC Zone 2, so you can always get recent games if you want to find them. Or you can go to Players Voobly Profiles. So, it is stabilized, I think. The team to the south's population still needs to rise, like teal needs to get some more pop. Actually, he's at 45 vils. So that's the reason he's only at 150 pop. He has the military. Gray also needs to bump up his numbers and population, but at least with positions on the map, things have stabilized a little bit. Nice shot there from that siege onager, totally worth it. Gray, slightly annoying me. He's obviously still a good player to play in this game, but he's not quite at the best in the world level as other players are at. He's kept some of his units on stand grounds a bit too much. I like the fact that Peel has added light cav and Gray has added light cav. They're gonna try and kill the siege onagers with the light cav. Even the siege rams can do that. And yeah, look at that. Gray proved me wrong with his micro, and Peel proved me right with his siege ram here. Very close. It's only on 1 HP. So there's no way that I can really solve the lag, because the game's so old. So it's just a tad of a stutter. Hopefully it won't get any worse. Hopefully you guys understand that. It normally happens when we do these classic games with so many units. Big losses for so many people. Look at the amount of kills for Peel. 900 kills, 900 deaths. The yellow has a crazy kill death ratio with 403 kills, 186 deaths. And he's pushing towards Teal's economy. This is why Teal doesn't have the villagers, because he's lost his eco and he doesn't really have space to reboom it. Elder Safe, this game is over 10 years old. I can't give you the exact time. I can only give you when it was uploaded to AOC Zone, and that was in like the mid-2000s. Oh! Well, they did micro there. It was kind of in slow speed, but yellow has completely forgotten about his bombard cannons because he's going for the castle. Now, orange is here, and green is going to lose his siege onagers at the same time, so I'd say it ends up being a little bit worse for green. But still, crazy stuff. You know, they're getting closer and closer to this trade. I've said this before, but at the same time, you know, now Teal has his paladins on this side, and Peel and Co are pushing back. And I think the paladins are the key ingredient here. Paladins will kill the eagle warriors, and if, well, in these numbers, they will kill the siege onagers and the Mangudai. They kill everything. And then the ranged units, like the siege onagers and chukunus, do the work from behind. So that is the second time, well, it's probably happened more often than twice, but it's the second big moment where a team has 3v2 or 3v1s. And that might allow Peel to push back. Remember, I said these castles were impossible to push. Well, not anymore. These castles are actually extremely important for blue because he needs the Mangudai production out of them. These Trebs, they're going after all three castles. Let's see if Red can maybe snipe a few. I mean, I don't think he will with this many Chukunu. Maybe he'll get one. Yeah, he'll get one. Not gonna be enough. Favorite old game was the T90 official YouTube video where Blue snuck a Ville behind Red and built a whole base out of behind Red's view or behind Red's base. Yeah. That's a really good one. The guy who played in that messaged me. The guy who played in that, I guess he saw it because he still watches streams, and then he ended up sending that to his friends who played with him 10 years prior, which I thought was pretty cool. Oh wow, the siege rams from Blue. You're just patrolling in siege rams to kill buildings. That's funny. Mongols have that drill siege, that Ferrari siege. Get the extra speed on that. Now, Yellow took some big losses in losing those bombard cannons earlier, and since then, he hasn't really been able to push here. Let's look at his resources. Oh my gosh, look at that trade. So many trade cards. He does have resources, but he just doesn't have pop. If it was a 300 population game, it'd be different. But competitive scene plays on 200, so like not only do you have to trade, but you have to be careful not to trade too much so you have pop room. Yellow has added some bombard cannons on this side to help out. Red adding in halberdiers with his eagles now. Very nice move since the paladins were here. I think that Peel is kind of on his own now. I don't know where everyone else has gone. Probably into the trade line after the Rams, so he's gonna have to run away and just live with the amount of damage that he did. Yeah, Rain frequents the streams, especially Spring stream, because he used to play Spring all the time back in the day. He's a nice guy. Dog, welcome to the stream, guys. We are 1 hour and 30 minutes into this game. Massive amounts of action. Our first player closing in on 1,000 kills is Peel, and he's only 45 away now. Still no sign of who's going to win this game. Everyone has enough trade to play. Everyone has different army compositions. It's all down to strategies and where you apply pressure. This is some amazing Age of Empires 2, and guys, this was over 10 years ago. With the Celt Siege Rams, 405 HP, I think they can push Yellow back. Yellow seems very vulnerable here. You're seeing some of the bombard towers going down, even with no protection. Teal has arrived once again with more paladins. I'll remind you, the guy only has 42 villagers, so I really don't know where he's getting his eco from, but he does have Teuton farms, so maybe that's it. Also, he has a lot of trade. And paladins from Orange as well. I just want to point out that Yellow started on the opposite side of the map, as did Orange. Same with Teal, and Green. So all four players are actually contributing to both. Well, this fight here. The other side, it's kind of a 1v1 or 2v2, but there's units from every single player on every single team in this engagement, and this is a sick engagement. Now, you gotta favor Teal and Gray with the Mamelukes, Chukunu, Paladins is a better combo here, and I think the Bombard Kings don't really offer too much, and Peel gonna send in the Siege Rams after them, the Onagers from Green clearing that up. I don't know what kind of PCs they had back then, but I can only imagine that it was stuttering like this when they played because of the amount that's going on. Teal pushing back on this side as well. Kind of redeeming himself now, as is Gray on the other side. With Green accompanying him with the Rams while he's still fighting on the other side. Yeah, Spring, maybe you could answer some questions about like the history of these players, because this is a very old game, yeah. This is a long time ago. In the in-game chat, they all said it at the exact same time, Spring TV is a noob. It was really weird, because your name wasn't Spring TV back then, but the chat will back me up on that. They definitely said that. I think Gray is contributing. He has full upgrades. The issue is he just doesn't want to get in too close with his Mamelukes, and he's using stand grounds. But he's kind of the trade janitor, guys. Like, he's keeping an eye on the trade, cleaning things up. They can't seem to wall this off. Red is spamming in Eagle Warriors, and you see some Paladins coming in every now and then as well. Like, Dre is just making sure they don't lose their trade, and he is contributing more than he was earlier, for sure. Peel and Green are just killing it. Peel now building his own Bombard Towers, and Green is fighting with his expensive siege on both sides. But, you know, pretty much everyone in this game has been enjoyable to watch. Spring said, Bolt did the AoC poker tournament type thing I did, but stole everyone money 11 and stole a prize off a Lands Nomad tournament. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this Bolt guy is obviously a shady dude. How long ago was that, Spring? If you remember that, I'm just curious how long ago that was. The thing about Chukanus, they still die to Siege Onagers, but they kill pretty much everything. They even do very well versus Eagle Warriors. They do well versus Rams, and they do well versus Siege Onagers. So if you're Chinese, you want to continue doing that. For those watching this on Twitch or YouTube, Spring has been playing this game since early 2000s and still is active in the community. I'm sure you've seen him around, so he would maybe know a lot of these players. How old is the game? It is very, very old. Nimino, I see you're answering that question now. It's been asked about 20 times, so I think I'll just stop answering it. Oh man, that's a lot of Mongol siege, though. The Mamelukes, though they are strong versus siege, they have to be careful. Yellow adding more bombard cannons. Red definitely hesitant to push forward with the halbs and arbalests, as are most players. They don't want to push forward with anything that's melee because of the amount of ranged units in siege. Yeah, just dead bodies everywhere. 3,000 units killed in this game, and no sign of who's going to win. Now, I'm still trying to keep an eye on the trade. If I was playing this, I might turn it to like military only, so you could see like the military units from the enemy team in the trade. Maybe we can do that. I don't know what you guys think. Might make it easier to spot a trade raid. Somebody's spamming the signal button because they see a Gray mounting a push up the gut here, and they do not want that to happen. They don't want these Mamluks in their trade. Pretty crazy game. And Teal and Green pushing back against Yellow once again. Now, here it seems kind of like a stalemate, but could go either way. And Yellow's going to add Bombard Towers to this side as well. Big shots with the Siege Onagers. See, I think Dre's priority is to clean up the forward base from Red. And they're actually quite close to getting into the eco of the opponent if they take out these stone walls too, so they could always look for that. Like Red's trying to wall this off. They're actually both trying to wall this off, Red and Blue, because they know it's coming. But it is just incredible how they're able to focus on so many different areas. Especially before the build orders were really enhanced. You know, it's cool because this game truly is timeless. There were expert players back then, and sure, the style was a little bit different. They obviously had the skill, and you know, today the game is growing more than it has in over a decade, and no sign that it's going to stop. What is that yellow dotted thing across the map? Those are Bombard Towers. So if someone does try and kill the trade, a rage guy, the Bombard Towers will be there. Now what you should do now is pay attention and start deleting your mining camps and lumber camps that are in the way of the trade, because efficiency is key. But yeah, we'll see. Gray has kind of left the left-hand side, and he's instead going to try and push up the middle because he sees that his teammates are holding okay. But it's like right when he leaves, the other team starts to slowly push back because of the inclusion of Yellow's bombard cannons, which can range the towers, and because of the camels and the siege from Blue. And of course Red's here as well. And then also, you know, Orange pushing back here and stopping what was a strong push from Green earlier. So these team games are incredibly complicated. It is definitely tough to know where you need to push. Not to mention your economy, the fact that you have to toggle through your buildings and actually produce. It's just impressive all around. I think that now the Mayans are a lot less effective. Because Eagle Warriors and Arbalests, they're not going to do much with so much siege. The only thing that Mayans are going to contribute here that are really helpful are the siege rams. But Mongols also do that well, and you can see a lot of rams coming in. I guess it's not a bad idea to add onagers if you can either. And they're doing that. Orange also pushing forward up the middle slightly. He's still having to deal with the attack here. Look at this. Orange has units here. He has units spamming here. And he's had units on this side as well. This is an exceptional game. Spring said in MSN people would talk a lot of crap on you if you walled. Well, that's how it is today if you're playing a guy named Spring. So, not much has changed. The Gray... Oh, okay, this is real important. This is real important. Gray is going to try and push, and he's going to run directly for the trade. He will get through the walls here, too. So, like, you can see earlier, Yellow added bombard cannons because Gray was trying to get through here. Gray is repositioned, and he's going to try and run in. Now, the siege onagers can help, as can the heavy camels, but it won't be very easy when the siege onagers just die. But look at the spam now. Everyone's spamming here. They want to stop this. They do not want to lose their trade, because then they'll probably lose the game. Now, immediately, this does give an opportunity for Green and for Peel to push back forward. And they're doing that. And also it gives an opportunity for Green and Teal to push forward on the right-hand side. Orange still massing units in the middle. I don't know if this is too convincing for me to have Frank bombard cannons with only halb protection, but I guess you never know. I think that Gray will eventually be cleaned up here. He's killing a lot of units, that's for sure. But it's just a matter of time, as they seem to have found this right away. I think maybe Green will be sending in the siege. There's a lot of signals, so that's basically players pinging to different areas on the maps. That way their teammates see important things. And Teal adding in the Paladins is so big here, because all the Yellow wants to do is camp up on this hill with his bombard cannons and kill the siege and enemy units, but he can't do that if the Paladins close in. Saying that, the Paladins got chewed up nicely by the Halberdiers from Orange. So again, we have red Arbalests and Eagles. We have orange Halberdiers at the moment. We have yellow towers and bombard cannons. We have siege rams, siege onagers from blue. What don't we have in this game? That is the real question. And a quick look again. Yeah, Gray did get cleaned up. Green sending in his siege probably a little bit too late here. Very nice. Well, look at this Arbalest. He is the real MVP. Actually, this siege onager will go down if, like, to Green's friendly fire, I bet. Yep, worth it. so many bombard cannons from Yellow. This is ridiculous. Absolutely crazy. I think it wouldn't be a bad idea for him to add Champion. Champion, Halberdier, Bombard Cannon mix would be nice. Of course, other gunpowder units would work. Oh, here come Mamelukes and Paladins once again. Yellow is really in jeopardy here. His Bombard Cannons will probably die. The Onagers will die to the Mamelukes. And Peel has a lot of Rams coming in. Green still has Siege Onagers. I think they're going to be able to push this. I mean, it's really down to if Blue can mass units to help out Red, but Yellow's lost production. He can't even produce Bombard Cannons to contribute. The Mamelukes are surrounding the Arbalests here. The Rams are coming in from multiple angles. The Chukunas are still patrolling in from behind. Orange senses this, and he had a batch of Paladins waiting. But, you know, the team to the north has had the lead this entire game, in my opinion, and this is slowly swinging back into Poland's favor. Slowly. Even Red sending one villager to repair this castle. They know the castle needs to stay up. Will it stay up? The Rams? It might just stay up because the Rams have been taken out, and the rest of the Rams will probably get cleaned up by the Paladins. The Blue added a lot more siege onagers. Teal, he has paladins here, but they're dying to the heavy camels. The castle stays up for now. Peel loses a lot of units, and I think Peel will be pushed back here. Absolutely ridiculous game. Meanwhile, it's kind of stalematey on this side as well. Wow. That's really all I can say. Like, there's no other words that can describe how crazy this game is. I know that a lot of people on YouTube, or maybe people in Twitch, like, you guys don't play the game all that often. Now, my hotkeys don't work on this old recorded game, but except for TCs. So it's basically like this for the military buildings right now. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Look at the fight. Boom, 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 boom. Look at the fight. Like, it's... You need some insane speed and some insane game knowledge to be able to play in these long games, because you can easily get steamrolled. I love the castle position there. I love the castle position there from Gray. Oh, the two canoes! They've got completely flattened. The castle will go up, but how long will it stay up? If the bombard cannons and trebs then come from the other team, that was a huge shot. PL plummets down to 160 military, just sends in new two canoes. But that was a ridiculous shot, flattening the entire army. I feel like I just keep saying, oh, we're gonna go back here, and like, oh, this team's pushing, this team's losing, this team's pushing, and just like flip-flops back and forth. At what point do you call it a draw? You don't call it a draw. Only a woman, well, I shouldn't say that. Only a wussy would call it a draw here. You put 2 hours into this game, you're defending your homelands, you need to fight. And that's exactly what's happening here. I gotta edit that one part out. I'm not sexist, okay? I'm not. It's just a joke. T90 babe. So trade's still not getting raided. Both teams now have towers and or castles in the trade line. That one was close. Yeah, we almost lost all our woman subs, guys. You know how it is. Like, growing up, they say you throw like a girl. Like, that's where I was coming from. I think this castle will drop. Yellow just needs to send in some bombard cannons, or someone needs to send trebs. I mean, this woman is, speaking of strong women, like, look at that. Repairing that castle. The entire castle being repaired by herself, so... Don't forget, it's 2018. So Onager for bolts, and he's going with elite war wagon now. And that's a really good point. He hasn't really added many war wagons this game. He continues to lose his bombard cannons. And war wagons do hold up well against siege onagers if you mass them. So maybe he's going to use those now instead of just full bombard cannon. But I still think he needs to prioritize getting bombard cannons to this side. Now, saying that, even without his bombard cannons, they're red and blue. They have pushed back. Yeah, women would be doing the peace talks right now, while the men would be like, "No, we will fight to the death." I don't know, like, Twitch chat completely blew up at that comment. It was a joke. Don't take it so seriously. Also, we are going to see Korean siege onager as well, so I guess yellow maybe feels like the bombard cannons aren't going to work in the long term, as he gets pushed back here, and maybe wants to add in his own siege onagers, but still they have no answer to the paladin on this side. They really don't. And champions from Teal will continue to chew up the halberdiers, so the halberdiers won't have as much success to the paladins. And blue even adding some champions now, running into these castles. So I mean, this is just blue not paying attention, which does happen. And now gray all of a sudden appears again with a lot of elite Mamelukes. Now it seems like there was a lot of lag for them, and so microing versus siege onagers is even more difficult. So I would probably recommend to them that they use like a spread formation or something, so the units aren't as clumped up. But for us, I'd recommend they keep the units clumped up. That way we get to see some big shots. Trade is just a mess. What are the trade numbers? Like 60 for the team to the north, pretty much every player. And on the right-hand side, or I guess, sorry, the south, the Poland team still struggling with some numbers. But now we're going to see 2 range difference on the siege onagers for the Koreans.
Next game. Nothing. T90 or T93.
Doad, thank you for 7 months, man. No force nothing today, my friends, but this is an epic, epic team game. And the beauty is, we don't know who the players are, we don't know their styles, and yet, this is one of the best team games that I've probably ever seen, now that we're past 2 hours. Like, we've had multiple attempts to get into trade lines, we've even had successful trade raids, the game has continued. It has gone back and forth on both sides of the fight, and I really can't guess who's going to win this one. I have no clue either, so it's nice. This hasn't been spoiled at all. Now, maybe with the Korean pain train, the team to the north can do something else, because with this many war wagons and this many siege onagers, they can kill pretty much anything. The war wagons can kill Celt siege onagers, and the siege onagers can kill, the siege onagers from yellow can kill them as well as attack grounds on any units as well. I keep saying as well, so I will as well add that in. Game is over 10 years old, guys. Game is over 10 years old. Nimino, if I had to give you $1 for every time you've answered that question in the chat during this stream, you'd be a very rich man. So thank you for doing what you do, man. I mean, there are other options for these civs. Like, Gray could add Siege Onager, but why do that when Green's adding numbers, right? So I think Gray should continue with Elite Mamluk. Maybe go for trade raids. Oh, here we go. Look at this. Green making a small push. It's good that they signal it, because I would probably miss it half the time. Oh, man. Guys, everybody, get your T90 OMGs in the chat. This is going to be good. This is going to be real good. Look at all these units pumped up. And look at all the Korean siege. Oh boy. This is going to be tasty. See, Celt siege onagers can receive 2 shots if they're on full HP, but there's a 2 additional range for Korean siege, so at least in AOC there was. So it takes them a while to get in close. Come on. I just want to see these units flattened by the siege onagers. That's all I want. Mateel running into the trade. Now again, he's gonna hit the bombard towers. But that is going to be an annoying factor here. A huge shot for purple, for Peel. Gray still using stand ground, so he'll probably lose his units. Oh, let's go. You know what? They don't even need to go this way. They just need to go directly through the wood into the trade line. Well, good for Teal to not lose those units. At least I don't think he did. I think he pulled them back somewhere. Oh, and Paladins. Oh, this is big. This is big. That's a lot of Paladins. And Paladins here killing a few trade carts, but these Paladins could kill the entire trade if they don't find that. Now, Orange did spot it immediately. Like, unfortunately, there's been so much war that at this stage of the game, the Paladins' legs get, like, caught in between their dead comrades' bodies. Really, it's just the lag. So like that stutter is just because of the lag. They're probably playing on 4-second lag now. Push from yellow continues, but hasn't been as convincing as I thought. Orange has arrived to help out though. And 97.1% of people will not believe how old this game is. Look at the stutter. I think they're clicking. I think I think what's causing this is he's clicking a lot. I don't know. Maybe the camels are really tired. Maybe they've been alive since the 30-minute mark. But I think Teal clicked once, and he's waiting for his units to get there, while Blue is, like, clicking, like, why aren't you speeding up? Why aren't you speeding up? Oh, these poor camels. There we go. He probably stopped clicking for a moment. That's funny. This really hurts. This really hurts. Lots of trade carts are gonna die. And just Age of Empires things. And Hussars now from Gray, and he's gonna use those for the siege. I really like that move. Yellow continues to push in a big way on this side with Orange. So while one team is currently in the trade, getting huge kills, the other team is very close to the trade. Yeah, this is a recorded game, so I can only imagine. Like, if this was played back in 2000, like right after dial-up was added, there's got to be some insane lag. You know, the reason there weren't a lot of epic games that went on this long back then is because parents had to make a phone call, and that disconnected the internet. Feels bad, man. And as we've seen before, the moment there's a big raid somewhere that distracts and pulls units away, Peel pushes forward. I'll have to look at the trade numbers. Teal still has a few paladins. Oh man, this trade is just a mess. It is so much clutter. Let's look at the trade numbers. 74 trade cards for blue, 57, 59, 56. So their trade's still fine. This is fine, chat. It is absolutely fine. Yes, this game was over 10 years ago. Over 10 years ago, guys. I have to confirm that, but I'm pretty sure it was around 12 or 13 years ago. Oh, we missed the dead bodies from the siege onagers. Look at the Mamluks. This is what they need to send to the trade. The Mamluks. Send that to the trade. Oh, man. Like, at this stage, there's not a lot of eco left because they need so many military numbers. They have so many trade numbers. I would say the team to the north has too many trade units, if I'm being honest. How do you kill the Korean Death Ball here, though? That's 25 siege onagers with 11 range. Oh, goodness gracious. The Paladin's running in once again. It seems like the Poland team is in a really nice position because the other team is reactive while they're proactive. So, I mean, the only area they are struggling in is versus yellow here. And guys, the trade's about to be cut into. The trade is they're about to cut through to the trade. The war wagons will be here. All the trade will die. So who cares? Who cares about, you know, 50 paladins in your trade when you can get 30 siege onagers and 40 war wagons in the enemy trade? Who cares? How are they going to respond to this? What is the response going to be to this much siege? I just don't know. Mamelukes from Gray, they might make a run towards the trade as well. We might have a double trade. It'll be like instead of a base trade, it's a trade. Oh, because of the lag, those units are gonna be a little bit be in a little bit of pain. Let's go. Let's go. He's going right into the trade. I don't see any. I guess maybe green sees this and gray sees this as gray is sending Mamelukes. Mamelukes can potentially kill all of this. They do well versus paladins, they do well versus war wagons, and they do well versus siege onagers, but they have to get in close. And this is going to really hurt the Poland team. I thought it was going to be good for them. Now Gray's going through still. I'll keep an eye on that if I can even find it on this like rainbow barf. But they're going to lose a lot of numbers here. So here's really the struggle. When you lose trade, you need to add more trade again, which costs gold, and you need to continue to create gold units. So normally when you lose your trade, you lose the game. But Teal's coming in with paladins for the backside. Marius, the real MVP. The siege onagers are exposed. The Mamelukes clearing up the war wagons. And even though the paladins are here from orange, all of the siege will die, and the trade will stay up for now, despite some huge losses. Even green arriving with some siege onagers. So here's Gray and Teal, and Gray's trying to get to the trade route. Blue's adding some siege workshops so he can add onagers. They are prepared for this. This game is freaking amazing. In like 4-second lag as well. These are some of the best players that probably ever played the game. They're just no longer active. Now again, like losing gold units isn't really a big deal anymore, because all these onagers are exposed for green, but I guess that doesn't matter because orange hasn't realized that the trade has been cleaned up miraculously.
What is the map being played on?
The map is Lands Nomads, Nivida. Thank you for the $5, by the way, and welcome back to the stream. I mean, I haven't really looked at Peel in a while because all the action shifted to the middle and to the right, but Peel is, Oh! Peel quick wall with the palisade because red went for the markets. So you have to kill all the markets for the trade to stop trading. but this still is a big pain in the ass. Peel's been pushed back or peeled back, or, you know, whatever dad joke you want to make. That's a lot of eagles. That's 100 eagles for Reds, only on 30 villagers. Orange is only on 14 villagers, which is ridiculous. Mamluke's still here for Gray, by the way. And now, oh, now Green is pushing forward with Siege, and a lot of it. There are like 20 different fights going on right now. Who do you favor, guys? I'm dead serious. Who do you favor in this game? Is it Poland's, or is it the team to the north? Red is going to lose his Eagle Warriors. They just got clumped up there, and they're going to die. But he's slowly killing these markets. I think that answer really depends on what kind of damage is done here. A yellow getting attacked, but he's just trying to mask that death ball again. And these Mamelukes are so close to the trade. If he sits here, he's gonna kill like everything. Come on, Gray, let's go. Let's go. Team in the north. I think the northern team's gonna win. Okay, Gray's coming back now. I don't like that decision, but maybe he feels like he needs to. And wow. Okay, so let's see how bad this gets for the southern team. Did they lose trade cards? I don't think they did. I just think that some of these will stop moving after the loss of the markets. Maybe not, though. Maybe not. Oh my goodness, this is insane. This is insane. Let's wait for the Korean siege onagers. They'll flatten everything. They'll even flatten paladins. But, you know, it's all about the SOs, really. Orange knows that he's sending in his own paladins to kill greens. Huge losses for both players here. Oh man, thousands of units killed. We're probably at around 6,000 losses. I mean, this lag, Orange needs to be careful he doesn't sacrifice his paladins and run into the rocks from his ally siege onager. This is just craziness. So you guys are definitely right. It does seem like the team to the north has an advantage with the amount of trade they have. If you look at the trade numbers, they have, well, almost double, I think, of the team to the south. But the other thing is, that's almost too much trade. I don't think you need 80 trade cards. So, currently, yeah, it's 80 trade cards for blue. And let's look at his resources. He has gold that he can't really spend. So that just, it's like population efficiency, as I like to say. I mean, it's not very efficient unless you need to send resources to an ally or something. Now, after cleaning all of that up, Peel now has 90 military to push forward with. We could see some juicy siege onager shots. Blue is population capped because he's trying to deal with the fight here, by the way. And Red has siege onagers. Yeah, they're definitely trying to protect their trade from Gray and Green. I'm building more production buildings. Now, Yellow's going to go back towards the side, and finally someone on this team builds bombard towers. The bombard towers will help deal with that. Bolt says connection terminated. So I don't know what that means. Blood says, guys, I don't have siege, make it. So maybe they're getting a little bit frustrated. Will the Poland team come back? The heavy cav archers getting flattened by the onagers. Same with the Mamelukes here. And there's so many Korean siege onagers. Dope to see. Thank you for the 5 months. Everyone who subscribed today, you guys are the best. Thanks for supporting what I do here. I feel like I haven't taken a breath this entire freaking game. Orange is in with paladins again. How much damage will he do? He's really damaged the wood economy for Green. In fact, people will start to run out of wood eventually. Yellow sending siege onagers to kill the towers, and Teal and Green are spamming halves versus the SOs, and they will probably kill these eventually too. So, sure, Orange is harassing, but the Mamelukes, if they're patrolled, should kill the Paladins. A big push in the middle. Well, it's not a push any longer. It has been smushed by Yellow and Blue. And now, huge push from Peel and Gray. This is as far as they have gotten since Purple lost his original town centers, guys. And Orange is prepared to, again, to send in more Paladins. now they start, like, talking about the lag a little bit. Shit lag, stuck in halves. Yep, I mean, there's probably massive amounts of lag. That's probably why I would have stopped playing multiplayer, because of the lag. I can only imagine. I'm able to speed this up, but in reality, it was probably something like this. So like it's just a constant stutter. I like the speed where we're at though. Let's fix that quickly. Now here come Eagle Warriors from red. It's crazy because not only is it hard for me to follow the fights, but it's hard to follow where the players are adding units. It's like every single time they need a batch of units somewhere, they tend to have it, and it's absolutely incredible stuff, guys. Like, I know I've said that a lot this game, but I am so impressed by this entire game, and now Peel's gonna get pushed back. And Peel is gonna have to make units and just sit here again. Because there's no way Chinese can deal with that many elite Eagles and Paladins unless you have a lot of help. 102 military for Orange. He only has 12 vills. So he probably has 12 farmers and that's it for eco. But he can probably buy food if he needs to. Big engagement on this side. We have Frank Champions, Frank Paladins, Korean War Wagons, Korean Onagers, and Celt Champions, Celt Halberdiers, Celt Onagers. But I think Koreans win out here, especially with the Paladins getting involved. I fixed my alerts. That's another thing Felix and I need to look at. I don't know why the 100 bits is so quiet, but Craves, I saw the alert, and thank you for the 100 bits. Nilly, thank you for the creative message, as always. And thank you for the 9 months, man.
Insert funny and creative message here.
Oh, look at this. Peel has snuck in here with 2 Chukunus. I mean, if he ends up getting in front of the trade and no one notices, eventually he'll kill all the trade. Crazy game here. Nili has also played this game for quite a long time. So Nili, do you remember any of these players? And of course they noticed the 2 Chukunus because they're just ridiculously good. The Mamelukes from Grey are really going to be needed here versus the Eagle Warriors and versus the Paladins. He needs to get his patrol hotkey working and patrol in. I think ROR Sizz is a girl. Okay, someone said Alicia, so that's definitely possible. It's a T90 babe, Nilly. What kind of sub are you? Jeez. Look at this Paladin. Look at her skills. She has the Paladin on the roof of the barracks. I haven't seen skills like that before. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, that trade though. Oh, look away. What face? What face? I think what they should have probably done is cut this with onagers. And I mean, it's tough because there's a lot of wood to cut and you might be running out of wood too, but you gotta relocate your markets a bit. There's just so many trade cards. You know, the one thing that Xpatch proposed that I kind of like is that trade carts would carry more golds and be worth 2 population space. So instead of going for 40-50 trade carts, you'd go for like 15-20 maybe, or 20-25, and it would just make the trade more efficient, and your population space you would have left would be the same. If that makes sense. That's one move that I kind of like. I don't know how experts would feel about that. I don't like playing team games myself, so I don't have the real experience to know if that would be game breaking or something. I guess the first to trade would have a little bit more of an edge then. That's the only thing I can think of. But I think that idea was kind of nice, because then that doesn't happen. But goodness gracious, you know what change I like? Is how they removed all this excess range for the Korean siege, because it is just cleaning up constantly.
If you are afraid they will run out of wood, you can give them a tip to have enough for a whole game. The tip is, next game forest nothing. Next game
I'm not used to that voice yet.
Next game forest nothing. Next game forest nothing. Next game forest nothing.
Nivida, thank you guys. Let's toss some T90 trees in the chat for the teams who are running out of wood here, and maybe help them out a little bit. I'm sure we can go back in time with that emote spam and help them. I still really don't know how this will end. It feels like if the game ends. I mean, this might... Maybe the game just finished and it started over 10 years ago. Like, that's how long the game has been. They were just on trade near the end. They had to buy wood to refresh farms. Like if the game's gonna end, I think it's gonna be to Bolt. Because... even though I've said it before, this is incredibly hard to stop. The only way I can see the Polish team beating that is if they get into the enemy trade and kill a lot of it. Like Sleepy Magnus is sleeping on the trade job here after deleting the market. Needs to send the trade cards back. But seriously, getting Mamelukes into the trade line now would be a great idea. It also means that every trade raid would be more devastating. Yeah, I understand. So, like, it would be more devastating, and it'd be much more of an advantage for someone if they could afford to start trade. It's just an idea I liked. I'm not saying that I necessarily want to implement it, but I like the thought process behind it for the efficiency aspect of the trade. I think Peel and Gray can push forward. I think if Poland's gonna win this, though, Gray really needs to take responsibility and be like, hey, Peel, listen, I know you're doing a good job, but you need to do a better job because I'm going for the trade, and they need to make a push. Because now it seems like the Northern team is slowly figuring this out, and everywhere you look, they are pushing forward. I say that, though, but every time I look back at Yellow, they lose siege onagers. Holy goodness! Oh! He was right here! He's right here! He heard me! He heard me from the past! T90 Stradamus at it once again. That's why they spammed the X's and the signals. So many trade cards drop in here. This is great. Now, if Gray's smart, what he'll do is he'll keep one group here, and he'll send another group far, far away, like, and sit right here. That way, you know, he doesn't lose this all at once. Big, big kill here for Gray in the trade. This will make... It's so tough, actually, for Orange, because Orange doesn't have any vills. So, he's 12 vills. So he actually might run out of resources to create Paladins in time. Same thing for Yellow with the Siege Onagers as well. Saying that, he's not going to have that problem for quite a while with these numbers. But the trade continues to drop. Watch the trade numbers on the overlay, guys. This is definitely hurting them. And this is evening the trade numbers. This one bombard cannon is killing the Mamelukes, but Gray repositions. Nice. This is so good. I'd love to see him send these units right here. If they don't clean this up, this could really be suck. What? I was gonna say sucky. They just resigned. They just rage quit after all that. I mean, I assume it was a rage quit. It seemed like a disconnection or something, but wow, what a game regardless. I really wasn't hoping for the game to end like that. I was hoping that, you know, they typed the GGs and everything. It seemed like Kiss dropped, maybe? But, let me look at the resources real quick. I mean, Kiss has plenty of gold. I just want to see what they had in the bank. Yeah, plenty of res for blue, plenty of res for reds, plenty of res for bolts. Bolt is lacking the gold. But Kiss also had resources. So I'm gonna say that was probably an unfortunate disconnect. So you're all wrong. Nobody knows who's gonna win. Nobody. Nobody knows. When I downloaded this recorded game, they did not say anything about that. People were just like, oh, epic game, you know? And Neely says, I think you dropped. Start from the beginning again. Yeah, I think I messed up, guys. We gotta do that all over again. Just kidding. Yeah, maybe Kiss's parents had to make a phone call on the dial-up. Rip. Well, you know what? That game was so good from both teams, it's almost okay to declare no winner. Because I think both teams, like, there's no losers on games like that, in my opinion. Because that was an excellent game, back and forth, excellent display from both teams. I would have liked to have seen that play out because Gray was still killing trade cards. He was potentially going to kill all the trade. They weren't sending anything over to deal with this, you know? But still, the enemy team did have time to do that and did have resources. I would have liked to have seen them play out after that. You know, possibilities would have included players running out of gold, but also I think running out of food and wood. And, you know, it wasn't really a huge concern for them because they might have been able to buy that with all the extra trade cards they had, but that wouldn't have been the case anymore. You know, it definitely seemed like at this moment it was kind of a stalemate, though. Wow. So are we going to call it a draw now? I feel like that's okay. I feel like we can call that a draw, and it can be okay. Let's look at the achievements. No losers, what a girl. Dispels, that's so sexist, man. So sexist. We don't allow that. We don't allow that. Here's the units killed. So, you know, the funny thing is, Peel was at an even KD the entire game. I remember talking about his KD when he was at 400, and it was 400, 400. Then I remember it was 600, 600. Then I remember 900, 900, 1000, 1000. And he's at 23, 23. So, 2.3k kills and deaths for Peel. Actually, very close for Blue as well. Red, understandably so, lost more units because he was a Mesociv versus all the strong siege. Green, decent kill death ratio for him being Celts. Look at Bolt. That is almost unheard of. I didn't realize it was that good. Now, every unit he lost was incredibly expensive. He lost multiple bombard cannons and siege onagers throughout the game, but he definitely played his part. You know, Yellow's strength really allowed Orange to go to the other side more often because Yellow could hold on his own. So I think, you know, again, Orange losing units is understandable because he was going with Frank champions and you know, Paladins versus Mamelukes and Camels. But wow, crazy, crazy game. You know, shout outs, of course, to Gray as well, to Teal. That is a team game. It's a very rare level of skill for a team game. Now, I also want to give credit to Yellow again for rebounding because he got pushed big time from Teal and from Green early on. All right, so here's the economy. Peel had 90k trade profit. You can see they were tributing each other to balance resources when need be. Wow. I mean, look at the total gold collected. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players above 100k gold collected. I don't think this is really all that important. You know, the uptimes. They hit Imp. The latest was 57 minutes, and that was almost a 3-hour game. Society stats might be important with the relics collected. I guess there was a relic out there that wasn't collected. Or there were only 4 starting relics. Bolt sent, yeah, wow, 90. I wonder who he sent that to. I guess he was maybe sending his food then. It would make sense that Bolt was sending food to Orange because Orange had 12 vills and still a lot of food banked up. So since Bolt was going with War Wagons and Siege, that's only wood and gold. So most likely what was happening was Bolt was sending the food to the Paladin Civ. And that's why Orange could afford to have so few villagers. The relic was in the top north corner. Okay, Revolver Rollins was watching it, I guess. Thanks for keeping an eye on that. Well, that was a crazy game. It's definitely a YouTuber. It's a slightly unfortunate ending, but still, you know, that is the game. Maybe the title will be the game that no one wins. How's that? Is that good enough for you guys? YouTube, if you're watching this, make sure to check out the links below the stream. You know, follow what's going on Twitter for any updates, and Twitch as well, where we're live streaming this, and leave a follow and get updates when we go live. Crazy, crazy stuff. We are not done here today, though. We are going to continue the stream. Sounds like a good title. Is it spoiling it, though? Okay, well, we can, I mean, I will probably forget that idea anyhow by the time I upload it. Woo! So we did the game where Doubt went with a bajillion skirmishers, and we did that big team game. And now, all of a sudden, all these players who live in Europe have gotten online, and I don't know what's going on with their sleep schedule, but hopefully they stay online. See, Fire's online, Slam is online, Tato's online. What are they doing? Let's hunt them down. Ah, man. Tato's doing training games with a locked room. Bummer! Well, that's good to see. It's good to see that Tato and Viper are training, because they definitely need to train to beat Nilly in the deathmatch tournament. But let's see who else we got. Slam is online, so I think I need a little bit of a breather. I'll catch up with chat and everything. And I'll drink my water, play some tunes, and we'll continue some Age of Empires 2. Hopefully Slam gets an opponent.